There are so many lunatics within the gaming industry, and whenever they feel that the power they've gained is actually being taken away from them, they start to have complete and utter meltdowns. And now we're finding out actually that Gail Simone was a consultant on the Wonder Woman game that was recently canceled. But Cypher of Tyr, or Tanya DePass, a massive activist behind this project, who also happened to be a senior writer, is threatening people. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there is nothing these people could do or say that would surprise me. And of course, when you get fired from your job or your studio is closed down, I understand you might be a little bit upset because you put time and effort into a product. You were really hoping that it was going to be amazing. You put a lot of heart and soul into it if you're actually somebody who cares about the industry, but it is never okay to threaten people, and that is exactly what Cypher of Tyr here, or Tanya DePass, is doing. Now, I've made quite a few videos on this Wonder Woman game, and I did just cover the news that Monolith Productions is getting shut down, which is truly heartbreaking because that means we're not going to get another Nemesis system game until the patent is up in 2036 at the earliest. But this is a senior writer on this project. She is somebody who participated in the Hogwarts Legacy boycott and also had attempted to get a GOG employee fired for simply making jokes. She basically said that this GOG employee co-opted a trans-supporting hashtag, and of course, there's somebody who absolutely hates J.K. Rowling, thinks that gamers should have boycotted it and not have put any more money into J.K.'s pocket, which obviously you don't have to like J.K., but it's not like she actually made this game or was really affiliated with it in any way, shape, or form, except for the fact that she had to sign off on paperwork so it could actually be made. But this is somebody who clearly has a history of being quite unhinged, and they are also, as their bio says, on the board of Take This organization. I've also talked about Take This quite a few times. Here's one of my videos on it. Take This, Homeland Security funded gamer harassment organization, was begging for money, and they were in danger of closure only 5 months ago. And of course, they did get an angel and donator right at the very end of their fundraising efforts. I wonder who in the government gave them money, but either way, this is somebody who is definitely very embedded in the gaming industry, and they are certainly an activist, someone that you should not trust. And I had done a live stream talking about this last night where, I was discussing Warner Brothers canceling the Wonder Woman game. I talked about the Assassin's Creed Shadows leaks, but I had showed off Cypher's socials before she ended up locking them down, and I was disgusted with what I saw. It is one thing to say that you are upset. It is one thing to even say that you don't appreciate that people are being mean to you, but it's another thing to wish violence against those you dislike, and that's what she's doing. She had said, yes, the news is true. I'm a free agent and open to opportunities. Almost 2 years pouring my heart into the Wonder Woman game. RIP Monolith Productions. I effing refuse to share that ghoul's article, and do not send it to me if you value not being verbally flayed to the bone. Now, I don't know who the ghoul is. It could either potentially be Jason Schreier, because Jason is the one who broke the story, or it could be Smash JT. I would assume that she's talking about Smash JT because somebody in the industry actually going after an industry shill. I just don't see that happening. But she did say, oh, do not send it to me if you value not being verbally flayed to the bone. So very specific, and in my opinion, very violent wording here. And she went on to say, any of you MF say an effing word about us deserving it, I will come for you. Do not try it with me or any of my colleagues, with a sword emoji. So it seems that she's LARPing as an industry white knight, I guess. She's LARPing as the defender of the Wonder Woman game. It's pretty cringy, at least in my opinion, but it is extremely unhinged behavior, because again, it's one thing to say you disagree with this decision or you're heartbroken, but it's another to actually threaten people. Now, of course, they did lock down their social media, protected their posts. I'm sure that they'll say that they've been harassed over these statements, even though they are the ones harassing other people. But we've also now found out that Gail Simone was a consultant on this game. Initially, I was super hyped for a Wonder Woman title. That initial teaser that they gave us seemed really cool. They were talking about, reuniting old allies and taking a stand. Obviously, Wonder Woman is a figure that has had a lot of good media surrounding her. And then you also have questionable media, like with Wonder Woman 1984. So I was cautiously optimistic, but it still sounded pretty cool. And knowing it was Monolith Productions and we were going to be getting the Nemesis system had me super hyped for it. But now we know that all of these just like radical leftists, and both of these people really are insane feminists, were behind it, really does not make me all that sad to say goodbye to it. And we also know, of course, that Gail Simone does have a history with Kim Belair. She had previously tagged her saying, "At Bagel of Death, Tokyo Disney sees is almost too amazing to be real." So all of these people do certainly love to flock together, but Gail Simone had said, okay, regarding the Wonder Woman video game, others have already revealed elsewhere that I was a consultant on this game, so that cheat is out of the bag. But I want to say a couple of important things. I was asked to do long-term consulting on the game, and I was thrilled to do it. It was a perfect storm of stuff I adore. Wonder Woman, video games, and one of my favorite game studios, Monolith, who produced the Game of the Year Mordor games that I was completely addicted to. I just feel like that wording seems very fake, like, oh, they produced the Game of the Year, award-winning, top of the charts Mordor games. Seems very like PR, but the game was gorgeous and expansive. It was beautiful to look at. I'm not going to give details for a number of reasons, but every effort was made to make this not just a great game, but a great Wonder Woman game, a showpiece epic. And all of that was because of the team. Everyone who worked on it brought their A-game, programmers, artists, designers, everyone. I don't know that I've ever worked with a team that cared more about making sure the end product was perfect. It was a dream come true. Wonder Woman had a dream team and they put their all into it. They made sure it had Wonder Woman and DC lore on every aspect of the game. It was a thrill and honor to work with them. Now, of course, the gaming industry is going through a pretty tough time right now, and especially companies like Warner Brothers Games, they've had multiple failures, but I can't again sit here and say that I feel all that heartbroken just because we can't trust modern day writers. Like, you can sit here, Gail Simone, and say, oh, it's the most amazing piece of content I've ever experienced, and it was going to be superb, and it was going to be crazy and good, and everyone's going to love it. But at the end of the day, I just feel like we have to let it go. And it seems that people like her are probably not going to let it go for a while. I wouldn't even be shocked if we see a couple of articles from the mainstream media saying, oh, these companies are sexists and they're canceling games with primarily female teams, because that's just the type of angle that the mainstream media would take, and that these women would contact the journos with that angle about. So, of course, I will be keeping my eye on this going forward to see if there's any other information, but these women are already getting dunked on by people saying, and here I thought it couldn't get any better with this cancellation. It just got better. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. You know, if this game had your fingerprints on it, it was DOA from the start. There are some people who were a little bit upset, clearly Gail's fans and fans of Wonder Woman, but at the end of the day, if a game's not going to come out, we can't really mourn it. We can't really be all that sad that it didn't end up launching. And judging by some of the people that were a part of this project, I feel like it probably would have come out and been a money loser for Warner Brothers Games anyway. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.